This is Replicant Fish. Welcome back. Glad you could join me again. So with the world currently going through a biohazard situation, you have many people who are being more safe, secure. Some are wearing masks, gloves. Some are not leaving their house. Some are able to work from home. Some are in fear of getting sick. Because be it real or not, be it man-made or not, there's still a possibility of getting sick if you have a weak immune system or if you're above a certain age. Doesn't seem to bother children, but they seem to be carriers of it. Just making some points to the current situation. The current state of the world. But in speaking of the current state of the world, it's to address the people in the world. Us, basically, human beings. Well, not me, I'm an android, but human beings. So I have this topic here. How single men have improved their lives through the Manosphere and Red Pill. As in the many aspects of the Manosphere. Not just the Red Pill, but MGTOW, SYSBM, IBMOR, and so on. Now first of all, I speak not for this sphere of men. No. If the Manosphere were a galaxy, most of the content creators would be near the core, near the center of said galaxy. But a small fish like myself would be on the outskirts, on the edge of the Orion Arm, sort of where Earth would be in perspective to the galaxy. So that's where fish would be, in the outer edge of said Manosphere. But the point about this thing called the Manosphere is, how many men have learnt about themselves, not only themselves, but about life, their place in this thing called life, in the world. They've learned to understand how women see them, what women may want from them, how women may use them, take advantage of them, to explain when women actually do care about you, and when they may really need or want you, in comparison to the lie told to many of us as men. You see, the thing is, some refer to these things as movements when they're not movements. It's for some to understand, because many of us understand this, that even if this did not exist, even if no Manosphere existed, many men would have still come to the conclusions they have come to. Collectively. Not because there's something being shared among us, no, it's simply many men seeing themselves. What's going on? They're seeing the state of the world in which they live. So many men naturally would come to this conclusion themselves. I was such a man. The thing is, like many men who knew certain things but had not come across other men that knew about certain things, many of us thought we were crazy because we thought that we kept coming across the same situation, or in other words, the same type of woman through our life, you know, the crazy chick, the obsessed chick, the drama chick, the baby mother chick, the friend zone chick, the trapper guy chick, the many, many different variations of women. Some men thought it was just them that had their experiences with women in their life, and many thought they had no one to talk to about certain things. So I myself, I thought I was somewhat crazy for seeing things the way I saw them, because it was difficult to speak to anyone about them, and when you did so, you wouldn't be told you're wrong. I wasn't told I was wrong. I was more disregarded, as in why are you paying attention to that? And that was my point. That's why when I came across the Manosphere, the Red Pill, MGTOW, IBMOR, and the many content creators within the space, I then realized, oh my god, I am not crazy. In fact, my experiences are actually they're not as drastic as some men, some men's experiences, For as bad as my experiences are and have been, in comparison to some men, it's staggering. It made me humble, in a sense. It made me realize, yes, I, like many men, have been through these certain experiences. But the point was how one can push past that. The pain, the hurt, the stress, the history. There will be blood. For some men, there was a history of violence within that blood. Quoting movies, but yes, good movies, by the way. But in this world, many men have learnt to carve out their own life. A life not set down the path of marriage, deep relationships, and children. Though for us as men, to want those things is the natural thing. But what we have realized is, in order to get those things, we have to deal with the woman. And in a world that's being changed and pushed with many agendas, it does create a crop of women that are more difficult to date. Not that they're new women. It's more a sense of they're more let loose to do whatever you want to do sort of women. The I don't need a man, feminist-minded woman. So what many men have learnt is what they have become. How they're being pushed by society and the government. How we see cases like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And yes, you can say both sides of this, but at the same time, she was clearly tapped. She was crazy. She is crazy, in a sense. But in this world, it's difficult to say that as a man, because as soon as men talk about their experiences, it's just seen as hate speech. So it does not matter what men have been through in their life. When men talk about it, if it's about women, it's instantly hate speech. Could be about anything else. Anything else is fine. But as soon as you speak about women, it's then hate speech. The suicide rate of men is far higher than it is of women. Something about the suicide rate that they don't speak about enough is the many men that take their lives because of relationships. Be it divorce, be it a relationship that went bad, be it a woman that took everything, be it a woman that took the kids and kept the kids from the man. Many men have taken their lives and continue to do so because of relationships. Yet we live in a world that sells relationships only in a good sense, as if they're wholly good, when I doubt anyone in this world really would admit that relationships are wholly good. They know they're not, yet they still follow the narrative that we should say that they are, and not question anything. Which is where an android replicant bastard like myself comes in, at the distant edge of the galaxy, quoting his philosophy, making points about men not only of today, but of the past, and possible futures as well. It's to explain the almost all-encompassing nature of us as men, but then to see how the female nature reflects back upon us, and how as men, we can and have learnt much about ourselves through understanding the women, more about them. So yes, of course, in this galaxy, of course you have rogues, you have crazy MFs, you have bounty hunters, you have some with godlike complexes, you have some more advanced than others. But the point is, this space exists not because it was built. This space exists because it was more manifested than built, than put together. It was through men trying to understand and learn certain things that in some grand way we manifested this. Now yes, in certain groups you have hierarchies in certain groups of this and that and their politics and whatever. But the overall point is how many men, through listening to random bastards such as myself, have improved their lives, become better, become more financially secure, become more confident, become more empowered, become more powered, driven, as men. Even so, men that think in a certain way, we are still a minority. We are still a small amount of men that think this way. However, in this world, more and more men are seeing the way things are, naturally. They will say we're radicalized, trying to recruit men. They don't understand. You can't recruit men in a world that see what's going on already. We think different. We know we have to think different. We know it can't be the past. It has to be the future in which we build as men. And that is the point. But to do so, it's about you, the individual, as a man. What you do with your life. How you improve it, build it, adapt it, change it. Be more stoic than nihilistic. To see the crap, but step past it and keep going. To continually be a better bastard today than yesterday, the day before. 'Tis to be the best you can be now. In other words, focus. observe. Remember, the world is yours. Have a nice day.